Guys, working again on JJ today. Going to be replacing the front, upper, and lower control arms and the control arm bushings that go into the axle housing. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with the upper one because I think it's going to be the hardest, because I got to get that bushing out. Alright, let's go look at this junk. Here's what was going on. You can see this bushing is just super ate up. And the one that's actually on the axle housing is worse than that. So anyway, that's why I'm changing these out. The bushings are unable to perform the job that they're supposed to be performing. So let me see if I can figure out how to get that one off the axle housing now. Alright, so what I have done so far is I took the wheel off, released the shock, disconnected the sway bar so I could get the spring out. So that's what I've done, and then I took the drill bit and I drilled the rubber out all the way around that piece that's laying over there. And now I'm going to try to beat this metal shell out of the axle housing, get it ready to put the new one in. It's been a job, and when I take that other one, upper control arm off, if that bushing's in really good shape, I may not go through it today and try to take that off, just because I'm going to be running out of time. Out. All right, I've got the bushing beat out. It's right here, and I took a brush on my drill, cleaned it up. I did have a burr back here where I tapped it out, and I took a file and filed that burr off with this file right here. Alright, I went and got a ball joint press, and I've got the ratchet on it, and I got the bushing lined up, and I'm gradually pressing it in, and I'll come back when I get it all the way in. Alright, I got it pressed in. I got just a little bit of a boogered up edge right there, but that's where I was trying to tap it in before I got the ball joint press. But anyway, it's going to be perfectly fine. So let me get the upper control arm and put it back on, and I'll be done with this one. I've done just a little bit since the last video clip. So I went and got the rear bolt put in place up there at the top. And of course this front one wouldn't line up with everything jacked up in there and the sway bar disconnected. So I put the wheel back on, put my sway bar disconnect back on, put my coil back in place, my shock, and I've let all the pressure off of it. I've got just a little bit on it with a jack, and I've got my bolt started. It started on one side, but it wouldn't come all the way through. I'm gonna see if I can take my hammer now and finish tapping it on through. actually, I don't know if I got that on camera, I probably twisted it, but that was actually lined up perfect. So anyway, that was the worst one of all of them. I still haven't got the bottom one on this side done. Alright guys, I went ahead and changed the other upper control arm. I have not changed either one of the bottom ones yet. The other one was just like this one. I did not change the bushing that was on the axle housing. It looked perfectly fine. I didn't want to have to go through the trouble of taking the wheel and the spring and all that stuff off, but I got the upper control arm put in and looking good. And I have got to take a break and go somewhere, and when I get back, I will get back on doing these lower control arms. That's the ones that's going to be a little bit tricky because they kind of control your caster angle, your pinion angle, because they got the cam bolts in it, and I'm going to try to put them back in the same exact spot as they were before, and then I will take them to the alignment shop and get them to check my caster angle and make sure it's all within spec. And I expect it to be, you know, pretty close, because I kind of got an idea where it needs to be at. Anyway, I'll see y'all when I get back. Alright, so we're back. Fixing to get started on these lower control arms, and you can see the cam bolts are all the way forward, and that's where I'm going to put them back, because this Jeep does have a lift on it. I don't know exactly how much it is, but they've adjusted the cam bolts all the way forward, and it could probably use a little bit more, but it drives good with them the way it is. So all I'm going to do is put my new control arms on, put my cam bolts back to where they're at right now currently, and call it good. And if something does happen funny where it's driving differently than it does right now, I'll take it to the lineup shop and I'll get them to check my caster on it, but I don't suspect I'll have to do that. Alright, I had to drop the drive shaft in order to get this bolt out right here, so Okay, right there's where I wanted at. All the travel I have forward, which is actually pushing the control arm back, simulating a longer control arm. I'm going to tighten her down right there. Alright, this cam bolt right here is seized up to the metal sleeve that's in the center of the bushing. I'm having a lot of trouble getting it out, so I've just now taken the tire off so I can get to here with a hammer and really give it some good blows. So if I can't get this cam bolt out, I won't be able to complete the job today, because I'll have to get me a cutoff wheel, cut up in there and cut the cam bolt on both sides and put a new cam bolt in. That didn't work. It's bending my ears apart on my axle housing. So anyway, I'm gonna have to try to get this put back together. Hope I get these cam washers back in place, because when I jacked it up without the tire on it, they came out of place. So anyway, if I could have got that cam bolt out, this job was not a big deal, but me having that cam bolt messed up turned it into a big deal. So I gotta try to find me a cam bolt. Need to call the local parts store and see if they've got some, and I can run and get me one. Okay guys, I got that last control arm removed from JJ and got the new one put in with a new cam bolt. You can see right here where I cut the old cam bolts, the heads of them off, and the cam bolt is still inside the control arm. There was no getting it out, and you can't use heat on it because it's got a rubber bushing that goes around it. So anyway, you'll notice there's no video footage of this, and there's a reason. In the process of me putting all my tools and stuff up, I set my camera on top of my wife's car. She drove down the road and I forgot to get it off, and it fell off. What's weird is the outside lens is fine, and it busted the inside lens. This has got some glass debris in it, but there's nothing. It's just strange how that happened. I ruined my camera. This was my brand new Osmo Action by DJI. It did good. It's so dependable. This clip I'm doing right here, this is probably number 7 attempt. I was trying to film it in 4K. The camera would not film in 4K for only probably 30 seconds of me talking, then it would shut off and say SD card error repeatedly. So I'm not buying another GoPro, which is what I'm filming with right here. I've had nothing but headaches with it lately. This camera right here was so reliable, and it's 200 bucks. I'll have to get me another one, because you can't replace this lens in here. You had to replace the whole camera, and the problem was not the falling off going down the road, but I got to looking, and the cage is warped really badly, and it got ran over. So that's what happened. It fell off, laid in the road overnight. I didn't realize it till this morning. I got up when I start doing my final video editing, and I didn't have the footage of this piece right here, and that's why. So, and I did film it. So, and another weird thing is, I told you the cage was bent. I don't know if you can see how this bottom slot right here by my thumb is for the SD card, and you can see how it's kind of distorted. It broke my SD card. So not only did I lose my camera, I lost the footage on the SD card because the SD card is damaged completely and will not read in my computer or the camera. And strangely enough, I can put a SD card in this camera and it'll still record to it just fine. So it didn't run the slot, it broke the SD card. It's got that big old crack in it. So lost my camera. I thought at least I've got my camera footage. Nope, I didn't get my camera footage either. I couldn't win for losing on this one. So anyway, that's why I don't have any video of me finishing JJ down there. So guys, this is going to be a wrap to this video. At least this camera's still recording. I got it on 1080p now. It was on 4K, but it can't handle 4K apparently. But I do like the GoPros when they're working, but they're just not very dependable. This thing right here, rock solid. I had a GoPro Hero 9. I sent it back. Strange audio popping I had with it. So anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank y'all for watching, and y'all come back next time. We'll see what we got going then.